Good. All right. We are now joined by Mo Adams. If you have a question in the room or on the call, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Franco Panizo, then Jose.
So, what's been the mood like this week? Obviously, coming off that result, returning home for a big game that's not important. 4 points in the first games. Yeah, obviously coming off a defeat, a 5-1 defeat is never really a good thing, but I think for us, it was just about discussing things, going over video, kind of having that internal discussion between the players and also just the staff to kind of go over things. And at the same time, you have to get over it quickly because there's an upcoming game, against a good side. So for us, it was just to kind of look at the things, try iron out the details, and then kind of move forward.
Next question, Jose, then Lauren Markwith.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we play at 5-3-2, it's about creating space for the 6, to get on the ball. So in mine and Motta's kind of positions from then on is to kind of move forward and kind of get in the pockets to kind of receive the ball in the half turn and then drive forward. But it's mainly to stay high to kind of create that space for the 6 to kind of dictate the play and then just kind of find in the pockets, try filling in gaps. Obviously, Gonzalo likes to drop in on that left-hand side. So if he does come in, it's about me kind of countering that and moving it a little bit higher.
Next question, Lauren, then Chris Whittingham.
Thanks, Rafa. Hi, Mo.
Hey.
Kind of mentioned this in the first question, but the team is playing at Dry Pink Stadium. We're back at home, playing in front of the fans. How does the team plan, to bounce back versus LAFC?
Yeah, definitely. I think LAFC, like I've said, they're a good side, but the game after a defeat like that is always very important for us to kind of find a reaction. We're obviously very excited to kind of get back out, play at home in front of our fans. So yeah, we'll be counting on them to really cheer us on and support us. But at the same time, we want to make this place a difficult venue for teams to come and play. We want to kind of make it our home, and in the sense that every team that comes here faces a big challenge. So I think for us, it's just to kind of dictate the play at home and really be on the front foot, playing their half and get a result.
Next question, Chris Whittingham.
Mo, how has the overall settling process gone? There's so many new pieces, and we only have 2 games worth of evidence, but how much was learned over the 2 games? Overall picture.
Yeah, I think it's you learn more in defeat than you do in victory, right? So I think for us, we've had a great preseason. Obviously, went to Charleston. A lot of new guys. I think it's a lot easier to adjust as a group when there's a lot of people in the same position. A lot of new guys coming in, so we've kind of had to lean on each other and learn together and kind of move forward as one. But yeah, I think that the game against Chicago, of course, playing at home as our first game, there's a lot of anxious players out there and stuff like that. But the defeat last week obviously was tough to take. And it was a little bit of a reality check in a sense that, okay, we've got a lot of work to do, right? Everything was kind of going in our direction beforehand in terms of the preseason and the first home game, okay, a lot of anxious people, a lot of anxious players, but we still managed to get a result. So I think for us now, it's kind of, actually accepting the fact that, okay, we've lost the last game and we've got work to do, and just kind of facing the truth and moving forward as one, because we can't dwell on the result right now. We've got a game tomorrow against a good side, and we'll be looking to get a victory.
Next question, Steve, then Michelle.
No, just look at your sort of career trajectory. You obviously started at Forest and then Derby and then came here. When you look back at the time in England, at that point, was it?
Yeah, Syracuse, yeah.
How come, when you look back now, how do you sort of see how your career progressed?
Yeah, I think coming through the academy system over in England is very competitive, very challenging. And unfortunately, I suffered a pretty serious injury back then that kind of put me out of the game for a bit. So I didn't really have much options besides kind of dropping down the lower leagues, but I didn't want to do that because, as we all know, in England, you can either choose football or education. You can't really do both. So obviously, I bought myself a little bit of time by coming over to the US, and that helped me in the sense that I was able to kind of relax, really focus on my football, but at the same time, if that didn't work, I'd be able to kind of get a degree. So thankfully enough, I came to the US with an intention of trying to go pro as soon as I can. And then obviously signed my GA and got drafted to Chicago. But all in all, I think it was the best decision I could have made. And looking back on it, it was definitely the best thing for me. Business. I'm actually still in school right now. So yeah. Probably about a year with the pace I'm going anyway. Yeah.
Next question, Michelle, then Ian, then Franco.
Hi, Mo, I'm over here on TV. Actually, speaking of speaking of college, I'm covering the ACC basketball tournament in Brooklyn, New York right now. So, and the Syracuse team was staying at my hotel. I just saw Jim Boeheim last night. Sorry about that result against Duke yesterday. Anyway, I wanted to ask you what you expect from LA. You know about the league. What exactly do you expect? What are the biggest challenges that they will pose tomorrow? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, their front three is very dangerous. Carlos Vela obviously scored a hat trick in the first game. And one thing they do is, the front three cheats a little bit in the sense that they stay high and they're very effective on transition. So for us, it's just to be aware of that in transition, even when we do have the ball, it's just to kind of maybe be cautious, one of the midfielders to drop a little bit deep and be, kind of mindful of them in transition. But, very, ball playing team. Eli Sanchez, obviously in the middle, is going to try and dictate the tempo. So we'll be looking to get pressure on him. And like I said, it's our home stadium. So we'll be looking to kind of take the game to them, play in their half. And like I said, be mindful of their attacking three.
Next question, Ian Hess, then Franco.
Hey, Mo, over here on the TV as well. Yeah, hi. You mentioned the role of the six in the pockets, and I wanted to sort of build off of that and ask you about possession and its importance. You probably saw Seattle midweek really dominate a very good Lyon side, 3-0, but they only had 31% possession. This has been a problem with Inter Miami over the course of this tenure sort of so far, with not winning 50%, 51% of possession. How important is it to you, or having possession with a purpose? Where do you see that lie?
Yeah, like I said, possession is important, but possession is important to have in the right areas. You want to play in their half. Obviously with the back three, you're kind of a man up in the sense that you can obviously keep the ball switching from side to side, but at the same time, you have to find areas to be able to penetrate and then move and progress the ball forward. So for us, sometimes when you play against teams, you have to absorb pressure. You have to kind of sit back and wait and pick your moments of when to press or stuff like that. But in terms of possession, like you've asked, it's about getting the ball into the right areas and finding players, like Marta and Rob Taylor, players who are able to kind of receive the ball, turn and go forward and essentially take the game in their half. And then we were able to be patient and move the ball from side to side and look for holes in the middle.
Next question, Franco.
You touched on it, I touched on this one. You guys obviously went to film and watched what did you guys learn from that to correct for tomorrow's game? Obviously a different point, but
yeah, I think the coaches work extremely hard in terms of setting up a game plan for us, and sometimes when us players don't follow that, you get punished for it, right? So it's just about sticking to what we saw on film, sticking to the game plan that we've set ourselves, and at the same time trying to avoid some mistakes. Being able to be smart and when to play and when to kind of be safe and go along if need be. And then just being strong, mentally. I think when you go down a goal or two, you can't, your head can't drop. You have to look for a reaction. You got to come out more aggressive and stuff like that. And it's just about, at 2-0 down, if you score the next goal, it's a totally different game, but you can see it after the second half. All right, I think first 5 minutes of the second half, it's tough, but credit to Austin, man. Like, I think that's 7 chances chances created, and they scored 5. So it's got to give them their credit too. Yeah.
Andrea?
Mo, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on this, that he spoke with the players about the some attitudes that he saw. Do you guys speak about that in the locker room? Was it difficult after that defeat? How was the ambience in the locker room, and how it has changed throughout this week?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was devastated. Everybody was pissed off after the game, and that's normal. I feel like we're all professional athletes, we're all very competitive, and that is a normal reaction of a player, right? But at the same time, you have to reflect, yourself and then collectively as a group, and that's what we did. We had a kind of a video session, but at the same time, it was more of a kind of like a discussion between ourselves, and everybody kind of came forward and spoke about their thoughts of what they think they can do better, what could have gone in our way, for what we would change, all these kind of questions that kind of you're kind of asking yourself after a game. So it was an open discussion. I think that's very important because it kind of puts everybody in the same page. So it was needed, and in the sense that us as players, we also had a discussion between ourselves. And that's what we want. We want that open dialogue. I think that's really going to help the team move forward together.